So we are finally in Bali, the island of the gods, the last paradise on earth, or whatever nickname that either it has given itself or people have given to it. I have avoided coming to Bali intentionally for years, in part because everybody comes to Bali. But I was told by a friend that, hey, you need to go to Bali, you will like it a lot more than you think. And after a few days, still not really quite sure. Still not quite sure how I feel about that. But again, also, I haven't been able to do anything. So that could change starting today. Now, because of how Bali is laid out, my approach to exploring really the island and a lot of the major sites, I'm probably gonna have to adjust that approach. As there are people just kind of park anywhere around here. So I might have to adjust my approach. I usually like to do kind of my own thing, get around my own way. But because other than what I'm going to show you today, a few things are quite a bit away from me. As I said, I might have to suck it up and actually, hire a private driver or join a tour. Ugh. But hey, you make adjustments, but we'll see what happens there. So my first impressions of Bali so far, just after a couple of days, is there are a ton of people here, and I'm not quite sure if this island is equipped to handle the sheer volume of people that are here. So from the airport up to get to where I'm at, it took about 2.5 hours because it was like rush hour traffic, and apparently there's only about 5 roads that get you from one place to another, and those roads were packed. I talked to the driver. It was a Grab driver, and he said that before COVID, there were foreigners, there were visitors, there were tourists, but it wasn't nearly to the volume as there is now. But since after the pandemic and people wanted to start getting out more, digital nomads started becoming more of a thing. That this island's been flooded with them. So again, one of the reasons I've been trying to avoid it. But I'm here. Am I guilty of exacerbating the problem? Maybe. But as I said, we'll see. So our first stop today is going to be the monkey sanctuary, and hopefully I won't be attacked. Let's go ahead and check it out. Oh yeah, I totally can't bring my dad here. He'd come out here, sit out here with his fishing pole and get kicked out the country. try to fish these fish. So from the moment you walk in, you basically start seeing all the monkeys. So there is a sign. Actually, let me go back and show you the sign here. They give you nice little guidelines. Yeah, some of these are pretty self-explanatory. Don't feed the monkeys. And oh, by the way, most importantly, do not look them in the eye. Fortunately, I'm wearing shades, so I'm not sure if that's going to be a problem if they interpret this as a one large eye, or if it's going to protect me from making eye contact. I think we're going to find out over the next half an hour or so. The monkey forest, located in central Ubud, is about 30 acres large and is home to over 1,200 long-tailed macaque monkeys and 186 different species of plants and trees. On the property also are 3 temples. They are estimated to have been constructed at around 1350. These temples and other sacred areas are closed to the general public. They say that the monkeys will leave you alone if they believe you don't have any food. Despite a lot of the warnings that I outlined earlier about not looking in the eye, not feeding them, etc., there are some tourists that simply ignore the warnings. If you do come here, it will be in your best interest to heed to the warnings as much as possible, because there have been reports and continue to be reports of monkeys biting visitors. All right, so we're just leaving the monkey forest, and it was pretty interesting. You got monkeys, you got a forest. Although I was a little disappointed that we really couldn't interact with the monkeys. I understand why. I completely understand why. But I know years ago I went to this monkey temple in India, in Jaipur, where you were actually able to interact with monkeys. You could feed them and do all that kind of stuff. I was actually expecting a similar experience here, but they were like, no, don't feed the monkeys, don't touch them, don't even look them in the eye. So hey, but you know, like some of them were pretty cool to look at, pretty interesting, pretty entertaining. So we're done here, off to our next spot. All right, so we are now in, I'm just gonna call this Central Ubud. I'm not quite sure if this particular area a name, but yes, it is Monday, 11:30 a.m. All right, so we just left the market. So on the first floor is a lot of clothes, really mostly clothes. Like there's some, I guess, if your kids, some toys or other trinkets, whatnots, knickknacks, whatever you want to call them. They're on the first floor. On the second floor, you have a few more of those, but there's also like some art, paintings, and things like that. So I will tell you, if you are American, and if you've never like left America and you want to go to either like Latin America or over here in Southeast Asia, the sales culture can be a bit aggressive. Like you're just walking down, minding your own business, and people like are kind of shouting you down, try to get you into their shop or their stall or whatever. So if you've never come out here and it's your first time, I'm telling you, just be patient, and sometimes just a simple no thank you, and they'll leave you alone. But if you're really easily perturbed by that type of sales tactic, you might want to rethink going to markets out here. By the way, it's not exclusive to official markets either. So like even on the way up here, it's, you know, like guys like, you know, like taxi drivers, motor taxi drivers, same thing. So again, if that easily annoys you, really reconsider. The Ubud Palace used to serve as the official residence of the royal family of Ubud. In its present form, the palace was built in the early 19th century. However, there was significant damage done to it as a result of the 1917 earthquake, but it was restored quickly and then opened to foreign guests in 1928. On occasion, the palace is host to several traditional Balinese dance shows. So we're at the Ubud Water Palace. I'm outfitted in a special sarong that we're required to wear before coming here. But this is just absolutely beautiful. Isn't it though? Yes, it is. The Ubud Water Temple was completed in 1952. This temple is dedicated to Saraswati, the Hindu goddess of learning, literature, and art. This particular temple is notable for its lotus pond, which you'll see when you walk right in, and there is a bridge that connects the entranceway to one of the other things that it's known for, and that is the thrones that are in front of the main temple, where you are able to take photographs. All right, so we just left the Water Palace. I'm not gonna lie, that was actually a pretty cool look. Now, one of the questions I asked before I got here was, is Bali walkable? And the answer I got was yes, but no. And I'm thinking, well, when I got here, I saw sidewalks. I'm thinking, oh, it can't be that, until you actually see the conditions of some of the sidewalks here. Now, I may have mentioned in an earlier video, I rolled my ankle months back, but I'm still not 100% recovered from. But when I tell you, like, this sidewalk is trying to actively take my other ankle from me, this is what I mean. Look at this traffic. I don't know how people are able to live here and deal with this traffic. Now, keep in mind, I recently lived in Atlanta, Georgia. The traffic there is notoriously bad. Before that, I lived in the DC area. Traffic there is also notoriously bad. But I cannot fathom this at all, given just the size of this island, this part of the island, and at least with DC, Atlanta, and like larger cities, yeah, traffic's terrible, but there's other, you can find little shortcuts, detours, and whatnot. Here, if the place you are trying to go is blocked, you're just stuck. Even some of the like motos here, even they're caught behind. They're usually like zipping through, zip through, nothing. But even they're stuck. Just to let you know how bad it is. Hello. All right, so now I'm actually on this little hiking trail here. Usually because at least there's, a trail here. Very hard, but not too bad on the feet. Not too bad on the feet. The woman said like to get to the town that this leads to is about 15 minutes from where I spoke to her, which was 30 seconds ago. So I was actually going to stop because I looked at the map and said, oh, this looks like it goes quite a distance, but 10-15 minutes I could do that. So we're just going to see where this takes us. The only issue is that so far it seems like this 10-15 minutes uphill, but nope, that is not going to deter us. We're going to keep marching on.
So yeah, this was all basically uphill except for one small part where it flattens out before it begins going up again. Apparently I only did a small portion of this hike and it takes about 2 hours to complete the entire trail. But as I said earlier, I'm not feeling like 100% myself, so I just decided to stop where I ended up stopping.
And we did it. Okay, I actually have no idea where I am now. I know I'm at the end or start of the trail, depending on which direction you're going. As this was all uphill, well, most of it was, but worth it. The views were absolutely amazing, calming, peaceful. And again, you get out of kind of like the main part of Ubud where there's a lot of smoke, pollution, and noise. You get to be out in kind of nature. It's nice, fresh air. As I said, great views, really peaceful, except you run into a few people on the way, but that's fine. Everyone's just really enjoying the walk. So that's going to end today's adventure. Again, I have to keep it light. I'm still kind of in recovery, so I need to keep some activities light, especially today. Can't really overexert myself too much. As I said, I feel like almost 100%, but not quite there. But the one thing, since I am gone longer term, I need to make sure I dial it back on occasion and take it a little easy. So, but because of the way kind of Bali is and where all the points of interest are, my approach to tackling Bali is going to be a little bit different. So more to come on that. I am here for 2 more weeks, so we'll see what else happens. Until next time.